Alright, let's go. Let's go. It is very early morning. It has been some time since I've streamed, but we're back. We got back from the UK last week. Jet lag is kicking our ass. Everybody in their house is on different time zones. People are going to bed early. People are waking up early. I really couldn't stream last week. After we got back, I was just absolutely stuffed. Oh boy. But we're back. An episode of A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston. Let's get our Tim Tam Slam out of the way and into some gameplay. We don't have a lot of time tonight. Well, this morning I guess I could say. You know what the deal is. We start every stream here with the good old Tim Tam Slam. It is, of course, as everybody knows, 2 chocolate biscuits. Top and bottom. A little bit of chocolate in the middle, all wrapped up in chocolate. We're going to use this biscuit like a straw. We're going to bite off the opposite corners. It's going to expose the inside of the biscuit and allow us to use this biscuit like a straw. I'm going to slurp up some of my hot chocolate. It's going to be entirely delicious. Excuse me. And we can get on with some adventures with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston. Let's get some music on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's good to have the most boring night at work. Public holiday here in Australia for the King's birthday. So we had nothing to do at work. There was 4 freighters, I think. 4.5. 1 strip, 1 load. Or 1 strip and 4 strip and loads, of which Mike only did 2. 7.5 hours sitting around doing nothing. Anyway, first time in 4.1.1 with Mr. Argo Hurston, so we need to go pick up something to drink. A couple of bottles of Cruise to keep us sustained on our adventures. It has been some time since I have looked at version 2 of A Life Uncharted, so we might have a bit of a play around with that, I think. Other than that, just a little bit of chill as I recombobulate myself. It's been almost a week now since I got back from the UK. Good morning, CT. How are you, my friend? 07's glad to see you home safe and back in the pilot seat. Yes, we are. Hopefully, we have no issues with our keybinds and stuff. I don't see why we should, but we'll find out. The audio is a bit low, is it? What can we do about that, hey? I guess we could try and crank it up a little bit. It is maxed out in Purge Queller. I guess what we could do also. Oh man. Is we can get some processing on. We'll see how that goes. It does interfere with voice attack. But you know, I don't think Argo should be using voice attack. He's not sophisticated enough. He hasn't paid for an upgrade module in the good old Archie bunker to have access to a ship AI like Atreyu to help him navigate and fly around. So maybe Argo shouldn't be using it. Oh boy, that's a hot chocolate. Oh man. Slowly getting back on schedule.
Before boarding.
I've been playing heaps of Hogwarts Legacy lately.
Metro Center.
I've really been enjoying it. I was in the UK with my sister's family, and my little nephew,
Metro Center.
her son, had just started playing Hogwarts Legacy on his Xbox 5, and so when Charlotte and I got back, we both fired it up, updated it, and started some new characters, and I've played about 42 hours of Hogwarts Legacy.
Now arriving. Metro Center.
Now, I guess I could have used that time to be streaming a little bit of Star Citizen, but most of that time was spent sort of just falling asleep in my chair and then just waking back up and going, trying to get myself back onto a regular routine. So I guess we could have had a couple of sleeping streams. Oh boy! Oh, free helmet.
Be
Can we
considerate to your fellow travelers.
snag that helmet?
What's yours?
We can. Let's grab it. Oh,
Hurston Security
Orc
reserves
Mark
the right to
10.
travelers at any
An
time.
Iceborne helmet. Yes, sir. Yeah, so coming back to version 2 of Life Uncharted. It's been probably more than 2 months now since we've spoken about it. With 4.2 coming up, I think it's time that I knuckled down and sorted that system out so that when 4.2 launches in a couple of weeks, I have heard the 20th of June thrown around by a few people. We could probably kick off some adventures with Argo. Free helmet, which Argo may then forget to wear. It's a free helmet that Argo can sell, man. That he can sell. We need cash buck monies. Oh, yes. Speaking of cash buck monies, what sort of cash buck monies have we got? 962,121. All right. It's a reasonable sum of money. We are still very much in the collecting coin phase so that we can buy our next ship, which is probably going to be the Nomad. 1.6 million for the Nomad, which now has, pleasantly enough, some accessible interior storage. Still has a shit weapon rack, but that's okay. We've got some storage inside that ship now. And it will allow us to do a little bit more cargo hauling. And with the new edition of A Life Uncharted, 962,121 plus a helmet. With the new edition of A Life Uncharted, version 2, we'll be able to access the Moby-Glass missions much more consistently. Although still restricted, Argo will himself have access to using the Moby-Glass to accept contracts based on his reputation. So that's something I'm very much looking forward to, outside of just relying on Twitch chat or the current mission system to throw up an ad hoc mission. With the new version 2, he'll be able to get to choice, depending on what reputation he has and how many guild credits he's earned with the various different guilds in that rule set. Be able to pick and choose different contracts and missions. Bit of rubbish around. I think in version 2, Argo's not going to have a job as a janitor. Let's buy a couple of cruise bottles. Might buy some P4 ammo as well. Just to get started, given that all of this stuff has been taken away at the beginning of a new patch, and like I said, Argo hasn't logged in for 4.1.1. This is the first login. Right. Let's have a look. What happened to our music? It's got some quiet tracks playing here. It's alright, we just need it kind of there in the background a little bit. Alright, let's have a look. Life Uncharted version 2, hey? I'm gonna get myself reacquainted with this. Oh, hang on. Let's jump into this. I'm a professional. Custom game mode, hey? You've arrived in Stanton, either by choice or through means outside your control. There is no going home just yet, so you must survive. Survival isn't easy, nor is it cheap. A Life Uncharted is not a zero to hero type experience, but more a day in the life of a citizen experience. You will have regular costs and expenses you will need to cover, and that means earning credits. This system does not make it easy. You cannot simply open your mobiGlas and accept contract after contract. You need to earn reputation, increase your infamy, and establish your position in the guilds in order to earn the big bucks. How hard or difficult you make your start is up to you. But A Life Uncharted highly recommends starting with a basic starter package, i.e. a starter ship and AUEC credits. If you want to start in hardcore mode, you could start with a ship that only includes a power core and reduce your credits to 0. Alright, I think what we might do, I think we're back in the phase now where we need to start playtesting, or I need to start playtesting some of this version 2 stuff. So what we might do is we might duck back into Tammany and Sons. We're going to sell all of our gear, or sell everything that we can sell. And we're going to kind of reset ourselves back to a starting point. Oh, Argo has some decorations. I didn't realize I'd started decorating his hangar. Sell gear. A tray. Oh, hang on. Might need to turn this off. Sell gear. Alright, so while Argo sells all this stuff for us, I think I'm going to just start play testing through version 2. I think it's the only way I'm going to make progress on this game mode. So that by the time 4.2 comes around in a couple of weeks, we'll kind of be ready to go. So I think we'll smash out our early morning after work streams this week with a bunch of Life Uncharted to really, make some progress on the rule set. Plus then I'll need to go through all the scripting and everything for anything that, I need to script. And, for that I'll have to have some familiarity with the rule set. I am really keen, speaking of scripting things, to let's just get rid of it all. I really am quite keen to put some narrative behind the stories in terms of, not voice acting, but using a text-to-speech engine to put a little bit of voice acted sort of story behind it. I really enjoyed the stuff that they've put in for 4.1.1, and I'm really glad to see that Gilly's Flight School has persisted past the Invictus. I don't know if they'll still be there in 4.2 or not, I'm not sure, but having a little bit of, voice acted content in the game is quite nice. Like I said, I've been playing loads of Hogwarts Legacy, and obviously that's a very narrative, story-driven game, and it's a single-person experience and adventure, kind of like what Squadron 42 will be. But I want some of that here in Star Citizen, and whilst we wait for that, if we ever get it, I'm going to make my own. So we'll sell off all this gear. I mean, we could keep playing A Life Uncharted with Argo, but I'm very keen to move to this version 2, so... whilst we are close to, you know... I say close, but, you know, it's quite some distance off being able to afford a Nomad. I'd very much prefer to, you know, knuckle down and get version 2 of A Life Uncharted or 2nd edition sorted out so that I can spend a good amount of time with it in you know, the upcoming patches. Let me know if the music is a little loud. I might just kill it just a little bit. We do want it just there in the background. Alright, so in order to survive, the player will need to complete activities, of which we're going to have to write some activities, hence the reason I want to start doing this now. Build their reputation, grow their infamy, and cover their expenses as they slowly discover and explore new regions. There are 3 main types of activities, and these are used to not only build your player's reputation, but will allow them to branch out from their starting location and discover new regions and opportunities. Quests, tasks, and guild contracts are the main opportunities for your player. There are also regular expenses the player will need to account for, including accommodation, insurances, local services, maintenance, etc. As you progress through the game, you will accumulate local reputation, infamy, and influence. Okay, so we've got 3 things: quests, tasks, and guild contracts. And as we progress through the game, you'll accumulate local reputation, infamy, and influence. So 3 for 3. Quests are local activities collected by visiting new locations and earn the player local reputation and influence. Tasks are activities completed at major landing zones, such as where we are right now in Lorville. And orbital space stations, the one above us, Everest Harbour, and earn the player infamy. Tasks are activities completed at major landing zones and orbital space stations and earn the player infamy. Okay, so we get local reputation and influence by completing quests, infamy by completing tasks at landing zones and space stations, and guild contracts are accessible via the contracts system in the Moby-Glass, which are purchased by earning guild credits when completing quests. Okay, so it says here, quests are local activities collected by visiting new locations and earn the player local reputation and influence, but then they should also be earning guild credits. We'll make an adjustment there. Julio, how are you, my friend? Hello. Welcome in on the old YouTube to today's very chill, very laid back stream as we get into a little bit of 2nd edition. Go through, start playing it, start playtesting it, just like we did with A Life Uncharted 19 episodes ago. This is the 19th episode of A Life Uncharted. You know, I wrote most of the rule set, had an idea of what I wanted to do with it, and then we just started playtesting it and we modified it over the next sort of 5 or 6 episodes, and then we've been playing that up until today. So it's time to start getting in and playing a little bit of 2nd edition and adding in things, tweaking things, making changes. And so right now we're wiping Argo's account. We're selling off everything. The cash buck dollary dues I'll send over to my main account. We'll keep a portion of it. And we'll get started. How hard or difficult you make your start is up to you, but A Life Uncharted highly recommends starting with a basic starter package, i.e. a starter ship and a UEC credit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the Cutter Rambler that Argo has. Stock all its components, everything, unlike the 1st edition of A Life Uncharted where we started with the Rambler that just had a power core. This is going to be a fully functional ship. And we'll start somewhere with, 5,000 credits or something like that. I was doing this once, ages back, just selling things out of my inventory. And it was going for ages and ages and ages. And then I realized that I was actually on the buy tab and I was just buying the same thing over and over and over. I don't know how much money I spent, but it was running for ages until I realized, hang on, I'm on the buy tab and I'm just buying the same helmet over and over and over. Alright, I need to get control of my mouse at some stage so we can scroll further down. Let's just do that real quick. Stop. I'm just going to remind myself of my own rules as we continue to wipe his account. So not terribly exciting stream today. We're just chilling out as we get through this stuff. Sell gear. Okay, so quests are local activities collected by visiting new locations and earn the player local reputation, influence, and it should also say guild credits. Tasks are activities completed at major landing zones and orbital space stations and earn the player infamy. I think infamy is what we use to unlock new locations. I guess we'll find out. I can't remember what I've written. Guild contracts are accessible via the contract system in the mobiGlas, which are purchased by earning guild credits when completing quests. Quests allow a player to start building local reputation. So again, these are activities we collect by visiting new locations. Quests allow a player to start building local reputation and begin unlocking new locations in that region. Oh, infamy is what we use to unlock a new region, i.e. on a specific moon or planet, for example, Hurston or Magda or Daymar or something like that. Tasks are activities that start earning the player infamy, which can be used to unlock new regions, i.e. unlock a location on a new moon or planet not yet visited by the player. Guild contracts will be one of the main sources of income for the player and allows the player to exchange guild credits earned by completing quests to accept contracts from the mobiGlas. Now, this is one of the big changes that I'm really excited about for A Life Uncharted is using the mobiGlas, the guild contracts, a little bit more often. I mean, we just bought all this P4 ammo. And those bottles of cruise, we'll let that run. Okay. Quests are found by visiting locations. Initially, the only quantum locations the player knows are the home planet and major landing zone. So we know how to get to Hurston, and we know how to get to Lorville on Hurston. When a player visits a location, they can determine if any new quests are available. Now, I don't think quests are available here at this landing zone because we're in a landing zone. Initially, the player will need to complete tasks. Here we go. Initially, the player will need to complete tasks at their starting location to unlock their first new locations. Some of these tasks will involve spending AUEC, so again, it is not advised to start A Life Uncharted with 0 credits. Interesting. The first new location that is unlocked will always be that planet's orbital space station. Okay, so the first place we're going to unlock is going to be Everest Harbour. Once the orbital station is unlocked, access to new locations becomes available either randomly or by choice, i.e. buying the coordinates to a new location through the exchange of reputation and AUEC. Which kind of makes sense to me because, once we've unlocked Everest Harbour, the space station above, that's obviously going to have, a communication network with the comlink and all that sort of stuff. So being able to identify new locations on Hurston. I really wish you could sell things in bulk. Like, I've got a stack here of cruise bottles. I think we bought 11 of them. And it's selling each one individually. Oh, I wonder. Stop. If I click on this and I click sell, okay, interesting. I wonder if I click on this, sell. Oh no, we can only sell one. This is interesting. Okay, so I can quick sell this multi-tool for 1 credit, or I can click on it and click sell and sell it including its attachment for 113. 1 for the multi-tool, 1 for the battery, and 111 for the oxy-torch cutter attachment. Okay. Why then doesn't it offer us... Okay, what happens if I click on this one? 216. Okay, I'm getting 216 for the tool and 1 for the battery. And see, I'm getting paid for the magazine that's in it. Man, why would you not... Why would you not... I don't understand why the quick sell price is different. Bear with me for just a minute. Okay. I don't understand why. No. Why the quick sell price doesn't include the full value. Calypsia, how are you, my friend? Oh my god, a wild crouch has appeared. There shall be no catching the crouch. Even with an ultimate ball. Uncatchable. So I might need to modify. See, I'm going to get 1 if I sell this via quick sell. Sell, it's going to include the attachments and give me 113. I might need to modify my my script. It's a few more mouse clicks. Instead of clicking on quick sell, click on the item, click sell, click sell. See, now I'm getting paid for the magazine that was in it. Click on the item, click sell, click sell. I'm getting paid for the attachments. It's good to see you too, Calypso. How are you? Thank you for tuning in on the old Twitcheroo for today's very boring stream. We are in the process of wiping everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston, back to square one. So that we can start playing a little bit with, you know... Okay, so there's no attachment in this multi-tool. I'm going to get 1 extra AUEC. Every AUEC is valuable. We'll quick sell all the rest of this stuff. Excuse me. Silk here. You're fine just hanging out. You just got your Pride earbuds that you ordered. You're letting them charge. Ooh, lovely. Yes, according to freight regulations, anything with a lithium battery can only be sent half charged, which is why your devices need to be charged. Going all the way back, like no guns, components, etc. We're going to sell everything that we can sell. So there'll be some things that I can't sell which are account bound. So there'll be some weapons, there'll be some armor. I think I've got a couple of things aboard the ship as well. So we'll keep all that stuff. But yeah, whatever I've got in my inventory that I can sell, we'll sell. Oh, you mean the ship, CT? No, the ship will stay stock. So, like, as I've been reading through my own rules, because I can't remember them, we're going to play with just the default rules. A fully functional ship, and some AUC. Wouldn't it be quicker to buy a box and put all the stuff you can sell in the box and then just sell the box? Yeah, possibly, but I'm reading through my rules again whilst this is happening so I can remind myself of, you know, where I really need to kick things off. Alright, so where were we? So again, it is not advised to start a life Uncharted with 0 credits. The first new location that is unlocked will always be that planet's orbital space station. Okay, so when we unlock new locations... I've already forgotten. Oh, here we go. To discover new locations, quests can be completed at known locations, and by doing so, local reputation points will be earned. Guild credits will also be earned by completing quests along with an AUEC payment. Local reputation points are accumulated and subsequently spent to unlock new locations. Okay, so when I unlock a new location, I can go there, do quests, I earn some local reputation and some guild credits and a little bit of cash buck dollary dues, and then I can spend that local reputation to unlock new locations. This represents the player assisting the local populace and being rewarded with information from the locals about other settlements and outposts in the region. Players can either use local reputation points to unlock a random location in that region. So a region again is a moon or a planet. In that region, or for slightly fewer local reputation points but added AUEC, the player can buy the coordinates of a new location of their choice. The cost of each location is determined by that location's tier level. So I'm assuming I must have some list of all the locations and their freaking tier level. I don't know why I'm doing all this. Because it's fun, I suppose. Once it's all, you know, worked out, which is again part of the reason why we're doing all of this, because I need to start playtesting things, and the only way I can playtest things properly is to is just to be there. I mean, I guess we could log on to a different account. We could log on to Curtis's account and playtest on. Actually, that probably would have been a good idea. Playtest on Curtis's account. Whilst I'm doing that, we could have actually had some episodes of A Life Uncharted with Argo Hurston. Ah, stuff it, you know. Whatever's, man. Making no difference, eh? Local reputation points are local to that region, i.e. a planet or moon, and can be spent at the administration office of any location in that region to discover the coordinates of a new location in that region. So the admin office would either be here at Lawville, or, you know, when you go to mining outposts, it's got that little admin office area with a terminal. Local reputation points are local to that region. Reputation used in this way is spent and must be re-earned by completing new quests. However, as with guild credits, a player's local reputation earned from completing quests compounds and slowly builds the player's influence in that region. Okay, so I earn local reputation. I can spend local reputation to unlock new locations, but as I'm earning that local reputation, it just keeps building. And I'm assuming when I get a certain amount of them, my influence in that region increases. Stop. Alright, so we've sold everything we can sell. We're just over $1 million dues. Let's go and see what we still have access to in our inventory. You know, I guess to playtest this, we didn't really need to sell anything. We could just start playtesting it, because it's not going to make any difference whether we start from 0 or with whatever we've got. Okay, so we've still got all this stuff. I couldn't sell any of the weapons. Okay, I've got all my artifacts, various ship components and stuff. Guns, paints. Alright, so we've got a set of armor that we couldn't sell. Oh, this was my armor from IAE last year. Weapons, components, paints, etc. Okay, none of this matters. None of this matters at all. Okay, so let's just pretend, ladies and gentlemen, that we've woken up here on Lawville, and we're starting our first episode of A Life Uncharted. We don't know any locations. Our star map is blank. let's finish reading through some of these rules, and then we'll get to nussing them out. None of this is going to be terribly exciting for anyone who's watching. This is mostly for my benefit, but I appreciate you chilling out with me here as I work my way through this, because realistically, the only way I'm going to get this done is by jumping on a live stream and just working through it. Otherwise, if I'm not on a live stream and working my way through this, I'm probably going to go play a little bit more Hogwarts Legacy, because I'm really enjoying that. Most of the way through the story, but hashtag 1SPSS. We need to jump on. Okay, so where were we? Local reputation, point number 12. Reputation used in this way is spent and must be re-earned by completing new quests. However, with guild credits, a player's local reputation earned from completing quests compounds and slowly builds a player's influence in that region. When a player uses reputation to discover a new location, the location discovered in that region will be determined at random. As otherwise, we can pay a little bit of AUEC to pick our own. Influence is used by a player to improve their prospects. Influence. Okay, here we go. You really want to play that, but you're also morally opposed to getting it? That's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's a great game. It really is a fantastic game. Really, really well designed game. Influence is used by a player to improve their prospects and influence the local populace in the region. As the player's influence increases, they will be able to start unlocking opportunities. Okay, opportunities allow the player to access additional quests above those offered by the quest system. How the hell does that work? Allowing quests to be completed without actually having to do them, and many other perks. That sounds pretty cool. My uncle's missing. Can you help find him? He's up in the mountains. Yeah, I found him. A player's influence continues to accumulate as they earn reputation. To unlock new opportunities, the player will spend reputation points to activate those perks. A player's influence continues to accumulate as they earn reputation. Yep, fine. To unlock new opportunities, the player will spend reputation points to activate those perks. Okay, so I need to keep earning reputation by completing quests. I can spend that reputation to unlock new locations. And whilst I'm spending that reputation, it's slowly increasing my influence. And then as my influence continues to accumulate, as I earn reputation, to unlock new opportunities, the player will spend reputation points to activate those perks. Okay, so I'm doing quests, I'm earning reputation and cash buck dollary dues and guild credits. Guild credits I can spend on the Moby Glass, and as I'm earning local reputation, it's building my influence. And then my influence is what I spend. What the fuck? I've got no idea. This is why I'm reading through this again. It's been months since I've looked at this. You know, when my brain is in overdrive and I'm working through game mechanics and stuff, I can't tell you how many times I've rewritten my tabletop game, Mirrors of Toulon. It's still not finished. Every time I come back to it, I'm like, what the hell did I write that for? That doesn't make any sense. Ramoyne, how are you, my friend? How's things this fine, still spring Monday evening? Very good, thank you. Very good. It's Tuesday morning, after work chill stream here as I, bumble my way through a life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, Mr. Argo Hurston, and start actually having a look at this version 2 so I can start making some actual progress on it. And so we're here. We've got Mr. Argo here in the background, and we're getting our way through it. Glutrino, my friend, joining us on the old Twitcheroo. Hope the UK wasn't all damp and cloudy weather for you, and hope it was as good as it could be. It was. We had a very nice time. Just spent the week or so just chilling at my sister's house. We really didn't do very much at all. Charlotte and I, though, did go to Harry Potter Studios and had an amazing time. Man, it was so expensive. That place is just printing money. We're both huge Harry Potter fans, and so we had to take the opportunity. I think it was 460 Australian dollars for the freaking tickets for the Harry Potter studio tour. It was just ridiculous. But we had a great time. That was the only thing we did. Otherwise, we just chilled out in my sister's house. We had a very lovely ceremony for my mum. It was very nice. Thank you. You're up very early. Everybody's all over the place right now. You got on what? Yeah, that's my wife. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and she's wide awake. Everybody's on different schedules, right? Now, on the way to the UK, the jet lag wasn't really too bad, but we've been back now for a week and everybody is all over the place. All over the place. It's out of control. She's never awake at 5 o'clock in the morning. Haven't opened your last box of Tim Tams? Hey, Glutrina, haven't opened my last box of Tim Tams until you came back. So my sweet tooth thanks you. Dude, where is the Harry Potter Museum? Well, it's a studio tour, so it's up at the Leavesden Studios just outside London where they film the movies. And you can go there, see the sets, a whole bunch of the original props and stuff. And yeah, it was great fun. So much fun. Yeah, that's at the Leavesden Studios, which is now the Warner Brothers Studios. When they first started filming the movies there, it was called the Leavesden Studios. It was an old film studio that hadn't been used in years. And it was big enough and cheap enough for them to film the first movie there. But now it's a massive, huge studio. Get into those Tim Tams, Glutrino. Get into those Tim Tams. I'm on the smart screen phone, am I, Ramoyne? As you're in game, hurtling from Orison to Arpcourt to arrive at Bygini Point Station. Bygini Point. Okay, so I think I'm making this way more complex than it really needs to be. Influence is used by a player to improve their prospects and influence the local populace in the region. As the player's influence increases, they will be able to start unlocking opportunities. Opportunities allow the player to access it. Yeah, we just read through this. See, this is unnecessary. Opportunities allow the player. Excuse me. Blah, blah. Opportunities allow the player to access additional quests above those offered by the quest system. I think it's a little bit too much because then I've got to think about all of that stuff and write it, allowing quests to be completed without having to actually do them, and many other perks. A player's influence continues to accumulate as they earn reputation. To unlock new opportunities, the player will spend reputation points to activate those perks. Okay, so from that perspective, I think what I was trying to get at, in A Life Uncharted version 1, we have these achievements and opportunities, right? So I had these opportunities here. Enjoy your stay. Once 5 side quests at this location have been completed, the option to buy a habitation unit becomes available at a cost of 10,000 credits. This allows staying at that location without fees or penalties. So as we know, whenever I'm traveling about here in the verse with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston, whenever he stays somewhere, he's got to pay some cash buck dollary dues. So habitation rental is 500 credits, right? So every time I log off somewhere, that's not the home base or his ship, I've got to pay 500 credits. But that perk, I guess, that opportunity, enjoy your stay, which we can unlock when we do 5 side quests and pay 10,000 credits, allows us to stay at that location without fees or penalties. So I think this is what I was thinking of in terms of, what I was just talking there about, in terms of spending influence to unlock perks. And I think part of this had come from, I was probably thinking about Fallout, probably Fallout 4. As you go through, you can, in many games, you earn reputation or infamy or whatever, you earn some sort of currency, and then you can use that XP, if you will, experience points or whatever, and then once you've earned enough XP, you can unlock, much like in Hogwarts Legacy, as you as you earn more XP and complete quests, you start earning talent points, and then you can spend those talent points as you level up. Each level you get a talent point, like in many games, and then you can use those talent points to unlock a perk. So I think that's where my brain was when I was thinking about this, in terms of influence and unlocking opportunities. If the player would instead prefer to determine which new location is unlocked, they can visit the administration office of any location in that region and elect to purchase the coordinates. The cost of that data will be a combination of local reputation and AUEC, which is determined by that location's tier level. Okay, so locations. Okay, so I haven't put any tier levels in. This is unnecessarily complicated. This is massive, because I'm going to have to go, why have I got this tier level here? I mean, I guess this doesn't need to be super complicated. There can be like just 3 different tier levels. And obviously some of these locations are, like elsewhere, for example, right now. It's an underground, well, maybe not under this forward operating base, for example, down low on Lyria, forward operating base. There's literally nothing there. So this would be like a tier 3 location. Whereas, something like one of these underground facilities, this might be a tier 2 location. I can get loot there, I can kill bad guys, I can do stuff there. And a tier 1 location, who knows? It could be these wreck sites, right? I don't know. You don't know if it's the engineer in you, Glitrino, the engineering nerd in you, but you love the detailed character rules. Look, I mean, this was my first run over, right? This was just all the diarrhea in my head that I just spewed out onto the page. And it needs to be massaged, it needs to be refined, it needs to be tweaked. Okay, that can go, this can go. And as a byproduct of that, things will come in and things will go out. And let me finish reading through these and then we'll actually get started, because we are here. We've just woken up in Lawville. The only way that we can get out of Lawville here, we have a functioning ship. Where the hell are we? We have a functioning ship. We've got some armor, we've got some weapons, we've got some cash buck dollary dues. Obviously, we've got more than what we would normally start with. But the first thing I need to do is to complete various activities around this space station. So we're going to have a look at how we write activities. In the previous version of A Life Uncharted, it was simply this errands system. Are there any errands here? There's no errands here. Okay, so what do I do, right? There's no errands. There's no way that I can earn any cash buck dollary dues or start building any reputation in order to unlock new locations. So let's finish looking at this nonsense. This is obviously not your normal stream, but like I said, I need to go through this stuff. I need to start working on some version 2, and what better time than after my shift, before I get the ninja up and ready for school, spend a couple of hours, chat with you guys about this ridiculous concept. The only way a player can unlock locations outside of a known region is to purchase at least one location in a new region in the administration office at the major landing zone. So if I want to unlock a new region, it has to be here at Lawville. Whereas if I wanted to unlock a new location in a region I already knew, so for example we're here on Hurston, if I wanted to unlock a location here on Hurston, I can do that at any admin office. So all the mining outposts and there's always that main building with the orange sign on it, and it's got the terminal in there, it's got the dude who's standing there. That's an administration office. But if I want to unlock a new region, so for example, once I've started exploring Hurston and I want to go to Magda, I'll have to come back to Lawville. The only way a player can unlock locations outside of a known region is to purchase at least one location in a new region in the administration office at the major landing zone using infamy they have earned by completing tasks. For instance, if a player wishes to move away from Hurston to explore Magda, they will need to complete tasks to earn infamy, which can be used to buy coordinates for at least one location on Magda. Once a location at Magda has been unlocked, players can start earning local reputation in order to unlock further locations on Magda. Therefore, infamy is the only way a player can expand into new regions. So you can only do things around Hurston to start or around Lawville to start. At the moment, I can only do things around Lawville. And we're going to have to go back up in the rules. So, you know, much like you'd start in any game, you start in a specific region. And you've got to go around and help the people in that region. You know, I'm a fantasy player. Most of the MMOs I've played have been fantasy games. And so you always start with these stupid quests, right? You know, go to the cemetery and kill the zombies and skeletons. Or go into the sewers and kill 10 rats. Or, you know, all that sort of stuff. All these little mundane activities to get you used to the game's mechanics. And, you know, give you something to do while you learn those mechanics. And then, you know, they say, okay, you've killed enough, you know, wolves and rats and skeletons. Thank you very much. By the way, this person in this new region is having an issue and we want you to go see them. And so you unlock the new region and then you go there and the same thing happens. You know, but higher level, harder to kill, you know, adversaries. And then they say, oh, you know, by the way, this guy over in this area is having issues with pirates. Can you go help him? So, you know, something like that. Something that, you know, has progression to it. So you feel like you're moving through, not a fixed course, but, you know, you've got things to do and you slowly start unlocking more regions. And then once you've unlocked a whole bunch of regions, then you just start, you know, you forget about the main story and the main quest and you get stuck in side quests forever. If you're anything like me, half of the time you spend just doing side quests and you're all over the map, here, there. And that's what this will be like, or it's intended to be like that. It leads you through, you know, the initial stages of the game. You start unlocking a few regions, or you start unlocking a few locations in that region, i.e. Hurston, which is where I'm starting. And then as I'm doing that, I'll start earning local reputation, and that local reputation I can spend on guild contracts. So now I can start just doing sandbox activities, jumping into the Moby Glass, all that sort of stuff. And then once I've got bored of Moby Glass activities, or I've spent all my guild credits, I'll have to go back to the quest system. And that means going to locations and are there any quests here, what needs to be done, etc, etc. Guild credits, here we go, are accumulated by completing quests. Each quest is associated, and I might need to come up with some different terminology here to sci-fi this up a little bit. Each quest is associated with a specific guild, its guild affiliation. And the guild, so for example, if we jump back into the game, open the Moby Glass contracts. So these are the guilds here, right? The Collection Guild, the Holding Guild, the Mercenary Guild, the Bounty Hunting Guild, the Salvage Guild, etc. Priority tasks, Hunt the Polaris and Happy Invictus. What is this? The United Empire of Earth is proud to acknowledge the start of this year's Invictus ceremony. Oh wow, okay, so I'm going to miss out on this. How is this still here? Again, this is the first time I've logged in with Argo on 4.1.1, which was obviously the Invictus patch. Accept this contract if you would like guidance to the festivities. As a special thank you, in partnership with the Mercenary Guild, attendees will be awarded 10... So I think... Okay, so if I just go to the Bevic Convention Centre, this is going to give me this 50 grand. But so some things like this. Obviously, the game is lacking a whole bunch of missions and stuff. Forget about the missions that we used to have but don't have access to anymore. It's missing all of this other sort of stuff that you'd find in any finished MMO. Which is why I'm doing all of this nonsense. Each quest is associated with a specific guild, its guild affiliation, and the guild credits earned from completing those quests can be spent to access missions available in-game via the Moby Glass contract system for that specific guild. So if I have a look at some of these quests here, I've probably done a couple already. So this one here, quality food supplies. It's been a while since we've had any decent food around here. If you ever get a chance to visit Orison, I've heard they've got a good range of sandwiches. The kids around here could do with a decent lunch. And so I earned 3 guild credits for the delivery guild. The guild affiliation is affiliated with the guild. Delivery's not even here. So this is how long I've been working on this. Delivery's not even here. Mining's not there. Oh, hang on. Some of these will have something to do with sanctioned activities, either contracted or sanctioned activities. It's all over the place. But I can't because that's on ArtCorp. Yeah, exactly. No, you can't do it. Delivery's not a thing anymore. I know, I can't wait till they bring it back. They have some delivery missions at the stations in Pyro right now. They might bring them back later. Clips, yeah, they will bring them back, I'm sure, once they figure out how to, make it all work with server meshing and all that sort of stuff. Okay. Each quest is associated with a specific guild, and I can spend those credits for quests or to accept contracts from the mobiGlass for those specific guilds. They're also used to determine the player's rank in each guild. Once guild credits are spent, they are consumed, and new guild credits must be earned by completing new quests. However, guild credits earned for completing quests continue to compound for the purposes of determining the player's rank in the guild. Now, this is something that I'm also really keen on. I mean, I could probably just pick a couple of things from this verbal diarrhea here to really focus on. And this is one of them. The cost in guild credits to accept a contract from the mobiGlass is determined by the contract's tier level. The player's guild rank will determine their percentage of the profits from any contracts or sandbox activities, such as salvaging panels in space or rock mining, etc. So if I go back to the guild contracts, guild credits can be spent to accept contracts from the mobiGlass or to perform sanctioned sandbox activities. Again, we really need to restrict how much cash buck dollary dues Argo's earning. Once we get into sandbox activities and rock mining and all that sort of stuff, or salvaging panels, you can just earn ridiculous amounts of money. The contract's payout value determines its tier. The higher the tier, the more guild credits the player must spend to accept that contract, shown in brackets in the table. Okay, so if I wanted to do a mercenary tier 1 contract, and a tier 1 contract is any mercenary contract between 0 and 30k. So if we have a look here, mercenary. Let's say I wanted to do this reduce overpopulation contract. It's going to cost 27k, or I'm going to get paid 27k to do this. In which case, it makes this a tier 1 contract. 27k, right? And I'm going to have to spend 6 guild credits to do this contract. Whereas if I wanted to do something like this one here, assist in defending site, I'm going to get paid 44 grand to do this, which makes it a tier 2 contract, which I need 10 guild credits then to be able to do this mission. So 10 guild credits. I'm going to earn, let's have a look, mercenary contract. If I do this contract here, a side quest, I'm going to get 2 credits for doing this. If I do this side quest, Arms from the Needy, I'm going to get 3 guild credits. So I'm kind of trying to base my guild credits on having to do sort of 3 or 4 side quests. And those side quests you pick up by traveling around to different locations. And once you've done 3 or 4 side quests, like this one here, Arms for the Needy, we've got a big problem out here at the moment with feral animals and packs of vicious copion, and not enough ammunition to deal with the issue and keep people safe. Deliver 5 P4 magazines and 5 C54 magazines. I'm going to get paid 8,000 credits for it. I'm going to earn 3 guild credits associated with the Mercenary Guild, and my local reputation, I'm going to earn 3 local reputation points for doing this side quest. And if I did this side quest 4 times, I'm going to end up with 12 guild credits, and then I can go to the mobiGlass and say, okay, what can I do for 12 guild credits? I might choose to do 2 tier 1 credits, 2 tier 1.
Legendary Team Nomad has contributed $5 to the stream snack support fund. Thanks for the pimpins. I am watching you.
Legendary Team Nomad, my friend, thank you so much. I appreciate you, buddy. The support is fantastic, man. I hope you are well. I hope you are well. I hope the Shield Maiden is well. I hope the little Viking is well. So I've done those 4 side quests. I've got 12 guild credits to spend. I might choose to do 2 tier 1 credits, 2 tier 1 contracts. I might do 1 tier 2 contract and still have some other points to spend. How am I doing, Dutchman? I'm very well, mate. I'm very well, and I'm glad to hear that you are also, and that the family there is doing well. And so sanctioned activities, these are sandbox activities, right? Rock mining, prospecting, salvaging, and commodity trading. These are activities in the game that you can do without having to worry about using the mobiGlas. Same sort of thing. If the player wishes to perform sandbox type activities, such as rock mining or salvaging panels found in space, they are restricted to the amount of time they can spend doing that activity, as shown in minutes, and they are also subject to a guild fee. Subject to a guild fee? Oh, yes, I see. As the player's reputation in the guild increases, so will their share of the profits increase. So that guild fee, we're not actually paying money to do this sandbox activity, but we're getting a split. So, for example, as an initiate of the guild, my guild rank is my total accumulated guild credits, 0 to 25. So again, if I did, let's say we came back to the quests. Mining. Gems speak 1,000 words. When I got married, I never gave my wife a decent marriage ring. Now we live out here, I'll never earn enough to buy her something nice, but with the right gems, I could make her something myself that I know she'd love, even more than something store-bought. Deliver 3 Dollarvine and 5 Fane Malign. I'm going to earn 4 guild credits with the mining guild. I'm going to get about 15 grand and earn 4 local reputation points. So if I manage to do this mission a couple of times, I'm going to, let's say we did this 3 times, I'm going to earn 12 guild credits to spend with the mining guild. And the mining guild allows me to spend those credits, for example, doing some rock mining or some prospecting. Let's say I spent 6 of those credits that I earned, I could go and do 45 minutes of rock mining. I'll then also have those 12 guild credits accumulating in the background, right? Even though I'm spending them, the work that I've done never really goes away. It's still appreciated. And so I'll be an initiate member and I'm going to get a 60-40 split. The guild's going to keep 60% of this. I'm going to get 40% of this. So whatever I earn in that 45 minutes of rock mining is going to get split. Then I might want to do 120 minutes of rock mining. That's going to cost me 15 guild credits. Making a sense, sir? Making a sense, sir? Some of this makes sense to me, some of it doesn't. Tasks are short errands available in all major landing zones and orbital space stations. Completing tasks earns the player infamy. The more tasks that are completed, the more well-known and respected you will be. Each major landing zone and orbital station have many locations the player can visit to determine if any tasks are currently available. Each location will offer different tasks. Okay, so this should be back further up in the list, because if we go all the way back up to the beginning of the list and we figure out where we're supposed to start, again, this is all just spewed out. It needs to be tweaked and refined. In order to survive, the player will need to complete activities, build their reputation, grow their infamy, and cover their expenses as they slowly discover and explore new regions. There are 3 main types of activities, and these are used to not only build your player's reputation, but it will allow them to branch out from their starting location, which is what we want to do now, and discover new regions and opportunities. Quests, tasks, and guild contracts are the main opportunities for your player. There are also regular expenses, which we haven't even been through these expenses yet. Do I have anything in here? Expenses. Okay, I haven't even associated costs with these yet. Mortgage repayments, insurance premiums, insurance excess, habitation rental, public transportation, imprint regeneration, hospital check-ins, rental hangars, landing fees, vehicle maintenance, and to download some data. There are expenses that we have so far. There are also regular expenses the player will need to account for, including accommodation, blah, blah, blah. As you progress through the game, you will accumulate local reputation, influence, and infamy. Okay, so here we go. To discover new locations, quests can be completed at known locations, and by doing so, local reputation points will... Okay, so we first need to figure out how we freaking unlock the first location. So we're here at Lawville, right? This is where, a little bit of imagination is required. Or I change this mechanic a little bit. So we're here in Lawville. To get out of Lawville, the first location that we'll unlock will always be the major landing zone's orbital space station. So in my case, it's going to be Everest Harbour. How do I unlock Everest Harbour, or how do we unlock that orbital space station? We need to complete some tasks. Here we go. It's all a little bit of a... It's all still very much a mess. Local reputation points are local to that region. And local reputation points I earn by doing quests. Got to come up with a better term. This is where I normally start to tune out, because there's so much going on in my mind that you know, I can't get it all out. So local reputation points are local to that region, i.e. Hurston here, and can be spent at the administration office of any location in that region to discover the coordinates of a new location in that region. There was something here that mentioned... Here we go. Once the orbital space station is unlocked.
You are fined 1 credit for...
Hey! That guy. Get to work, Argo. It's been months. Look, CT, it's been a long time. When a player visits location, they can determine if any new quests are available. Initially, here we go. Initially, the player will need to complete tasks at their starting location to unlock their first new locations. Some of these tasks will involve spending AUEC. So again, it is not advised. What tasks do we have here? Okay, here we go. Important papers. Local couriers aren't available, and we need these important documents securely delivered. Deliver the data disk between points A and B. A medical response. A resident is currently experiencing a medical emergency. Your assistance in responding is required. Why me? I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a medic. Deliver a med pen to the location. Forgot their lunch. The boss has forgotten his lunch and it's your job to take it to them. Deliver a burrito to the location. Locked out. A local resident has locked themselves out of their hab. You'll need a tiger claw to hack the door security system. Either use your own, or we can provide one for 500 AUEC. So again, this is what I was saying about, you know, not starting with 0 credits, because there's going to be some things that you're going to have to spend money on. For example, when we start, bear with me while I just unbutton my pants and let my fat belly just relax a little bit. Still got my work pants on. I need my comfy trackies. Oh boy. We're going to need some cash buck dollary dues, because obviously when we start, we're not going to have a tiger claw, and we're not going to have the ability to go and get a tiger claw, because depending on where we start, they may not be available to be purchased, right? So I've made that provision here. You can buy one from us for 500 AUEC and go and complete this task. So this list of tasks needs to be fleshed out, right? Now, again, I would like the ability for other people to be able to, you know, play this. And so I need to think, you know, not just in terms of what can be done here at Lawville, but can be done in any location. So when it says deliver the data disk between points A and B, I guess, you know, when we first started doing this, let me, while I jump all over the place. When we first started doing this, before I put all the scripts and buttons and stuff in here, we just used to use a dice roller. So we can say we've got 3 tasks that we can choose from. This one doesn't seem to have an objective. Yeah. Holy crap. Stop. What the fuck is that? How the hell did that happen? Stupid hotkey on my keyboard. Obviously, what is that hotkey doing? I don't even know what that's for, or what game it might have been for. Amazing. I don't know what this type is. Residential, medical. I'm not sure what this is. A local resident has locked themselves out of their hab. You need a tiger claw to hack the door security system. Either use your own. Okay. And I said we're just going to earn 5 infamy. Okay. So let's roll a 4-sided dice, right? 1. Local couriers aren't available and we need these important documents securely delivered. So I need to deliver a data disk between points A and B. Now in the original system, this is what the errands were, right? So what's the errand? And this would simply send us between 2 different locations. We'll be paid 333 credits to complete this errand. In our case, we probably need to add in some of this into the new system. So I'm going to earn infamy, but I'm also going to get paid. So I could probably use this same script. But this is to go from, Perimeter Gate 6 to Tammany and Sons. If I roll this again, 418 credits to go from the production quad in the main terminals to McIntyre and Victor's bar and over to the pool table. So this original version had in it this massive list of locations. Lawville, here we go. All these LE ones. So I ran around Lawville and I, identified all these locations in McIntyre and Victor's bar. Let's head back there. Let's go full speed. Actually, it'd be nice to get this all fleshed out properly. So here, M and V. I walked into the bar here and I was like, what locations do we have inside this building, right? Oh, yeah. Look at this. I forgot about this. Traders Hall. I did put into the first edition. Traders Hall gambling game. 100 credits to play. Spin the wheel. No win. Spin the wheel. There's nothing obviously that spins, but we can see the script is running. No win. 300 credits we've just spent. No win. Man, what are the odds on this, man? What the hell's, man? Extensions, absent scripts. Gambling. So we go chance. 20% chance. Generate a random number between 1 and 1,000. Add 100 to it. Select one of the 3 messages. No win, bad luck, or try again. So why is it always giving us no win? Otherwise, give us whatever number it randomly generated. So I'm always going to get my 100 credits back, plus whatever random number it had decided between 1 and 1,000. %10 chance of generating a number. Well, this should be 100% chance of generating a number. So if we change this, right, to 1.0, save this. What? It was pretty hilarious, Clips. Yep. I see what's going on. It's not updating this field here. If I click on no spin, you'll see a number appears here. We just won 974. Oh, here it is. It's a bad script. 742. Okay, so if I change that back. Anyway, that was good fun. So I had found here in MMV's bar a bunch. Let's get into some proper speed movement here. Some different locations here to move between. The locations. Gym flag, how are you, my friend? Tiny text. Yeah, it was pretty small. So I think I could probably really, knuckle back. Yeah, you can see there's that value that was appearing when we click on that button. $151, and if we change it back to extensions, apps, and scripts, gamble. If we change this back to say 0.3, save it. I'll refresh this. Try again. Yay! 582 credits. Try again. Okay. No win. Bad luck. 610. I guess I could change this script, right? That when you click on this button, the first thing it does is highlights this cell here, because it's updating whatever cell is currently active. Anyway, this is beside the point. This is beside the point. All right, so this is our task, right? We rolled a 1 on our dice roller. This was our activity or our task. I need to flesh out and write at least 20 different tasks here that would make sense to be able to do in any of the 4 major landing zones, right? Because these are how we're going to start building our infamy, and then we use our infamy somewhere in here. Here we go. I really need to clean this up properly. I'm getting confused by my own rules, man. We use our infamy to unlock new locations, right? Influence is used by a player to improve their prospects and influence the local populace. As the player's influence increases, they'll be able to start unlocking... Nope. Let's get back up. I really need to write these out properly in sequence. Anyway, we know that we need to complete some sort of task, and this was our task here, to go from location A to location B. So let's have a look. Errands, I'll need to use some of this stuff. Alright, so what's the errand? This will need to be changed. If we have a look at this one, get errand award.
Get a move on already.
So we can change this to 100% chance of always being given a number. That way the option to get a new location will never happen. Okay, so what's the errand? So I'm going to get paid 494 credits. Mr. Jim Flag. Doesn't Excel have a programming language where you can generate a random number? Yeah, that's what we were just looking at. We'd written a script there and it will generate a random number between certain parameters. So we're going to get paid 494 credits to complete this errand, right? Lovely. So we need to keep that in version 2 here. So I guess what we could do, this should work. No. If I go into... I want to copy this button. Copy this button.
How long do I have to wait?
Edit, delete, assign script, alt. Okay. I'll worry about this later on. But we need to put this button here on this new sheet. That's going to tell me how much I'm going to get paid. Alright, so we need to go to perimeter gate number 1. From the Customs and Information Office over to perimeter gate number 5 to the Kovacs cargo terminal to deliver this data disk. Let's go. Let's get out of the bar. Perimeter gate number 1. Alright, if we go... Oh, this is probably the long way. Let's go this way. So that list of tasks is something that I need to flesh out. Obviously, there's some scripts and stuff. Let's get rid of that RoboForm reminder to install its latest update. I need to increase the list of tasks that we have available in that list. And I need to throw some of those scripted buttons into that sheet so we can figure out how much we're going to get paid. And, you know, where the actual location is. Actually, I guess I could use that whole entire page from the first edition. I'll just change some of its labels. Perimeter gate number 1. Alright, perimeter gates. So again, these starting tasks at our major landing zone are sort of those simple tasks that we spoke about just before. Kill a certain number of rats, kill a certain number of skeletons, take a certain number of data disks from this point to that point, etc., etc. There's so many locations in all of the major landing zones for all of this type of gameplay that they could have as part of, you know, I don't want to use the term new player experience, but as part of the new player experience, getting used to the game and, you know, using some of these locations in these cities that are there for, you know, certain sorts of gameplay. And, you know, obviously I think as the game progresses, we'll see some of that activity happening. These are kind of like the things that you see at the distribution centers. Find the body, take this package from this location to this location, you know, that type of stuff. Right, so we can literally oh my god, what is this song about? We can copy this to an existing spreadsheet. Life Uncharted V2. What the hell is this? Let's call this tasks, right? Oh, let's get rid of this other tasks. We don't need this. I can't do it. How the hell this is in a playlist called Suspense, I've no idea.
Please watch your step when disembarking the train. Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
We're there. Quick, get off the train. Get off the train. Alright, so...
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
Let's send this to the log. Alright, what?
Hurston Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
Let's assign the script to this button.
Be
It is assigned
considerate
to the
your
button.
fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
Why no worky? Oh, I'll figure that out later on. Alright, so let's say we've done this, right? Blah 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 blah. We've gone there, we've done it, we've come back, and we've completed this mission, right?
Security reserves the right to search travelers at
We've
any
completed
time.
this task. What happens next? So we need in here... I kind of need this to be working. Let's go send this to the
Step
log,
away
right?
from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Alright, let's send this to the log.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous
Let's
offense.
clean this up. Do we have rewards for missions, Jim Flag? Well, the reward at this point is, A, you get paid a little bit of cash buck dollary do. If we go and have a look at the quest, you get paid a little bit of cash buck dollary doos, but then you start also earning these guild credits and you know, reputation points. And the guild credits are what we can use to be able to let's get rid of these.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
These guild credits are what we can use to start accessing the Moby Glass missions. So, you know, from that perspective, I guess the reward is kind of being able to have a little bit more freedom in terms of being able to access
Security reserves right
the
to
Moby
search
Glass.
travelers at any time.
Alright, so I need to add in here. Nope, here we go. This one.
Be considerate
Errands.
to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
We need to get rid of are there any errands here because there'll always be errands. I don't know why these scripts aren't working. I think I need to.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
It's creating a new project for this sheet. I'll sort this out later on. I need to copy all of those. Yeah, okay. Fine. So we need to add in not just the guild credits that we're going to get paid, but the number of infamy points. Alright? So let's say we've earned a bunch of infamy now. So in here is a player's profile, right? So we need some way of being able to track infamy points. We need
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
local reputation and guild credits. Now these are location specific, right? Or region specific. Let's get rid of
Security
this.
reserves the right to search travelers at any time. Trespassing or attempting to trespass on
This is
train
our
tracks
character's
is a serious
profile.
and dangerous offense. Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
Let's go back and have a quick look. Because I'm pretty sure Guild credits aren't region specific. Local reputation points are, and infamy is region specific. So now we've just earned 5 infamy, right? For completing that task.
Hurston Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
I know none of this is terribly exciting for people, and I do apologise, but this is the only way I'm going to be able to get this done. And it's nice to have people's input and ideas as I work my way through this. I know this is all very small. Let's make it a little bit bigger.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Infamy. In order to survive, the player needs to earn blah blah blah. You'll also earn infamy. Quests are local activities completed by visiting the locations and earn the player local reputation and influence. Tasks are activities completed at major landing zones and orbital space stations and earn the player infamy. Okay, so yep, we've just earned some infamy.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Again, it goes on to talk about what tasks are. Tasks are activities that start earning the player infamy, which can be used to unlock new regions. Okay, so infamy unlocks new regions. Why am I worried about earning infamy then?
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
I want local reputation, not infamy, people.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not block doors.
I need to make this slightly smaller. I apologize. The only way a player can unlock locations outside of a known region... Yeah, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to unlock Everest Harbour, people. This is what we're trying to do. For instance, if outside of a known region is to purchase at least one location in a new region in the admin office at the landing zone using infamy they have earned by completing tasks. For instance, if a player wishes to move away from Hurston to explore Magda, they will need to complete tasks to earn infamy, which can then be used.
I'm already on a quest.
Alright, let's go do a quest. Let's go do something. Contracts. Alright, where's our dice roller? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I think we're going to just do the first 4. Mr. Potato, how are you, my friend? Welcome back, good sir. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight as we bumble our way through, some of the... looking at version 2 a little bit. But we can take a quick break from that to do this quest. So we're going to roll up on the first 4. We're not going to worry about salvage or the priority. Now, this will be something that doesn't exist in version 2. So we need a 4-sided dice. Option number 1, it's a collection contract. Okay, so we need to find something. Or we could do Wicklow. Bring 1 snaggle stick, a smoke daddy. Oh man, to get some of this stuff, we're going to have to travel to Orison. A get up coffee. And 3 tundra copian horns. Oh, actually, we could probably... Let's just have a look and see where the hell are we. We could probably do one of these Rayari missions. Are there? Oh yeah, we could easily do one of these missions. Oh look, they've changed the little icon for Dolovine and Aphorite. They've made them much clearer and easier to see.
Do not block doors.
Got a bunch of Dolovine we can sell.
right
Alright, let's have a
to
look
travel
at
at any
what
time.
Rayari's got to offer us. "12 Revenant pods.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious
Quasi-grazer
and dangerous
eggs.
offense.
Sunset berries." Alright, let's accept this. So we need to take 11 sunset berries. Smoked Daddies in the Kelto in Orison. Yeah, all those things are from Orison, man. Sunset berries. Sunset berries. Oh, man. Do we not have enough sunset berries?
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
Here we go. Alright, so we need 11 of these. Alright, let's split 6 out. We'll add it to these 5. That gives us the 11. We're going to need to have some appropriate... Alright, we need to go to the hangar. We need to go to the hangar.
Is a serious and
Can't get changed out here. Can't get changed out here. Although, are we really playing a Life Uncharted? We can't get changed out of here. It's public indecency. Yes, yes, you are. Let's go. So you can see how much work there is to do on version 2. I mean, there's 2 major changes that I'm really interested in version 2. And that's guild credits to be able to do both Moby Glass missions and sandbox activities, like rock mining or stuff like that. And what was the second thing? What was the second thing? I can't remember what the second thing was. Here we go. Tasks are short errands available in all major landing zones and orbital space stations. Completing tasks earns the player infamy. The more tasks that are completed, the more well-known and respected you will be. Each major landing zone and orbital station has many locations the player can visit to determine if any tasks are currently available. Each location will offer different tasks. Okay, so this is something that was interesting because as of right now, in A Life Uncharted, we just determine, are there any errands here? And it'll say, nope, there's no errands here. So in this case, we'd need to go to each of these specific locations. So rather than having this massive list of locations, I think in version 2 I really cut it back quite a lot. Let's go to Hurston. Let's go to Lorville. Okay, so task giver or a task location? Task givers. So here are the locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 locations we can go to see if there's any tasks available. So either to the habitation office, the administration office, the hospital, Constantine's office, customs and information office, lost and found office, the new deal front counter, and Vantage Rentals. These 4 are all in the spaceport. So they're the locations that we need to go to. Oh, perimeter gate number 2. What the hell are we doing here? I got on the wrong train. Damn it. Back we go.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers.
So gate 2, so we'll go back to gate 1 and then back to the Metro Center. I guess we could have just gone to gate 3 and then to the Metro Center. It wouldn't have made any difference. So I guess in version 2 we'd go to these offices or these locations. And then we'd check, are there any errands here at this location? No. And then we go to the next location. Are there any errands here? No. Are there any errands here? Yes, there's 3 errands to get done. Okay, what are the errands?
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Hang on, why is this showing? This is not correct. I thought we changed the script. Is there a fine for getting on the wrong train? No, the fine is having to continually wait for a train to arrive. That's the fine. It's called misery. And grief.
reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
The misery, Calypso, that's where you live? Oh dear. Okay, so we still need this. Any errands here? We still need that.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
What's the errand? I don't think we need to have a certain number of errands appear. Where the hell is the train, man? Here we go. Let's go.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers.
I don't think we need a certain number of errands. Are there any errands here? What's the errand? So I can update this message box. So at the moment it's just displaying. This message box, I can put the actual, you know, task or the errand in here. And for that... Oh, I got rid of the other tasks. For that... Can we get that old tasks list back? Bummer. Keep going back, keep going back. Here we go. Okay, so I do need to flesh out this list of tasks because in this message box that appears, what's the task? I guess we could. Can we change this? Edit. We can make this make a bit more sense. Any tasks here? What's the task?
Now arriving. Moorville City Gate.
So this then would
Watch your step when
pull up
disembarking the train.
from our list of tasks what the task is.
Hurston Security reserves the right to
This
search
is
travelers
gate
at
1,
any
so we need to
time.
go one more station. It would pull up from the list of tasks what it actually is. So this one, local couriers aren't available and we need these important documents securely delivered. That would appear in this message box.
Trespassing or
And then I could have from Leavesden Station to Lost and Found Office.
next stop.
And it's
Metro
pulling up
Center.
that list of locations from... let's go to Hurston. Let's go to Lawville. Let's go to task locations. Now, I guess I could, you know, cull this back. I don't think we need 3 different locations in MMV. I guess it's not a huge list. We're either going to the admin office, where there's a Covalex terminal, to Tammany and Sons, to the production quad, which is underneath, sort of, kind of near the hospital a little bit. Reclamation and disposable, there's the hospital. We've got 3 locations. I guess we could just cull this back to just one, to the bar at MMV's, Leavesden Station, and then the central lobby, which is the waiting area at Leavesden Station. Hurston Dynamics store, trade and development to the TDD, central station, the New Deal sales office, which is inside. I guess we could just leave this as it is. So it would then pull 2 locations from this list, pick up the data from Leavesden Station and take it to Central Station. All of that could appear. Why is this happening? This message box shouldn't be shown to us. All of that would appear inside this list. And when I clicked OK, it will automatically add it to the log.
Metro Center. Please watch your step when disembarking the train.
rather than having to click this, okay, send this to the log list. Again, that's assuming we're only going to get one task at the location. So this is a question for those people who are watching out there in internet land. If I went, for example, to the New Deal office to see if there's any tasks there, if there was a task available at that office, would there only be one task, or would they say, actually, we've got a couple of things we need you to do? Having said that, I don't know why you would go to the New Deal office and be given this medical response task. A resident is currently experiencing a medical emergency. Your assistance in responding is required. In which case, I'm thinking that the tasks need to be location specific.
Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
This then plays a little bit into, for example, Argo's issue with renting vehicles at Vantage Rentals. He's not able to rent vehicles at Vantage Rentals. So the only way that he can, build reputation with Vantage Rental is to do tasks for them. And then perhaps being able to buy ships, maybe New Deal won't sell him any ships until, he's built a reputation by doing tasks for New Deal. Same deal with the hospital. They're not going to give him service, right? This is Lawville after all. They're just not going to give anyone treatment, right? Who the hell are you, man? You've got to build a reputation with us before we give you medical assistance. Where the hell am I going, ladies and gentlemen? The hangar.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
New Deal, you think Gym Flags is only just one task? Glutrina, they'll probably just tell you to go wash the ships. Oh, man, that was so much fun. I don't know if I've got them anymore.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous.
Oh, yeah, here we go. I used ChatGPT to give me a bunch of tasks. You are the administrator of a major city, Lawville, set in the computer game Star Citizen. A new resident has come to your office and is asking for help leaving the city. You can give them permission to leave the city, but first they must complete 10 tasks for you. What do you ask them to do? So that's what I asked ChatGPT, and this is what ChatGPT said. Welcome to Lawville, citizen. I see you're eager to leave the city walls, but freedom is earned here, not given. You want a transit permit? You'll need to prove your value to the city first. Complete these 10 tasks, and we'll see if you're worthy of the open sky. The Lawville Departure Task List. All tasks must be verified and stamped by appropriate Hurston Dynamics personnel. So it knew, right, Hurston Dynamics personnel. It knew that Lawville, Star Citizen, ChatGPT knew that Hurston Dynamics ran this place, right? This is pretty sick. Industrial maintenance. Replace a faulty oxygen recycler unit on the lower levels of Gate 3 in the subdeck. Air's precious here, keep it clean. Recover a shipment of missing microtech components lost in the L-19 workers' habitat. Rumor is the dust rats got to it first. The dust rat. So it knows about Star Citizen, right? I thought this was amazing. Maybe New Deal knows something that the authorities don't. Yeah, about someone being hurt.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
If you're doing cleanup tasks at Reclamation Orinth, then maybe more than one. I think the tasks are going to have to be location specific, because that way I can start building reputation, not just in that area, i.e. Lawville, but for each of the the people or the groups or the entities there. New Deal, Vantage Rental. And then once you've built a certain reputation with those places by doing tasks or activities for them, and some of those tasks and activities may not necessarily just be here in Lawville. They could be something, out of the Mobiglass, send you away somewhere, go do a mission, kill some people. This guy, whatever. It then unlocks the ability for those perks to be activated, the ability to rent ships, the ability to buy ships, the ability to use medical facilities, those types of things. Does he get a work resume of his history to prove he can do more tasks? Do you need to get a passport before you can leave to go someplace else? Well, yeah, like this one, right? Trash unit duty. Spend one full shift in the waste disposal unit sorting recyclable metals from hazardous materials. No shortcuts. Wear a mask. This was super fun. And then, I went on to ask a whole bunch of other questions. Report back with physical proof, timestamps, and security signatures. Only then will your exit permit be considered. Remember, Lawville builds character. The void reveals it. Chairman Hurston. Good luck, citizen. You'll need it. And then I got carried away, right? Asking all different sorts of things. And some of these in here were just absolute gold. You're the customs and immigration official in the city of Lawville, located on the planet Hurston in the computer game Star Citizen. A new resident has been instructed by Constantine Hurston, the Hurston family member in charge of Lawville, to make themselves useful by completing tasks for various offices, such as the Customs and Immigration Office. What tasks do you ask them to complete? And this is what ChatGPT said. And it issued this thing out. Lawville Customs and Immigration Office. Task sheet. Confidential use only. Location, Tisa Spaceport. Level 3 clearance required. Authorized by Officer D. Kellen, Customs Division. Mandated by Constantine Hurston, Patriarchal Representative. I thought that was amazing. Citizen designation, unregistered resident. Status, probationary entry. Directive, make yourself useful by Constantine Hurston. Per direct instruction from Constantine Hurston, you are hereby required to complete the following tasks to assist the Customs and Immigration Office in maintaining order, surveillance, and corporate integrity across Lawville. Completion of all tasks will be noted in your residency ledger and contribute to your eventual clearance upgrades. And here was the task list. Vagrant clearance operation. Politely but firmly escort loiterers or unregistered transients from the Civic Records lobby. Hurston Dynamics values image. Keep the space clean and orderly. Lost luggage recovery. Locate and return a misplaced cargo crate labelled HDX NX 713 from the TISA warehouse. Do not open it. Contents are classified and highly reactive. Completion instructions. Report to the duty officer at Customs Window 4 with signed task verifications. Any failure to complete the list within 72 standard hours will result in citizenship downgrade to transient watched. Lawville is built on order. If you wish to remain part of it, contribute to it. And then a quote. Those who pass through the gates of Lawville leave their doubts behind. That was so good. I had so much fun with this. You are Constantine Hurston, the administrator of a major city, Lawville, set in the computer game Star Citizen. Your family founded Hurston Dynamics and the city of Lawville. A new resident has come to your office and is asking for help leaving the city. You have little time or patience to deal with this vagrant, but you can give them permission to leave the city. But first, they must complete 10 tasks for you. What do you ask them to do? And this is what ChatGPT said. Lawville, Executive Office, Hurston Tower, 62nd floor. Audio recording log begins. Speaker Constantine Hurston. You walk in here, grime on your boots, wide-eyed like some wind-lost nomad, asking me, Constantine Hurston, permission to leave my city? Do you have any idea where you are? You're in Lawville, the iron womb of Hurston Dynamics. Everything you see, touch, breathe was shaped by my family's ambition. You don't leave without proving you're not a waste of synthetic oxygen. That said, I believe in utility. Even vagrants have potential, like scrap, that hasn't yet been smelted. You want the gates open? You'll earn it. So good, man! Reminds you of Space Quest, Jim, where the janitor Roger Wilco had to save the game by dealing with issues thrown his way. Yeah, man, definitely. Lutrina, you asked ChatGPT about which year Star Citizen 1.0 would be released. It gave me 5-year breakdown. 2028 was like 30%, I think, which was the highest. Amazing. Oh, man! No! We got knocked onto the tracks. Oh, Star Citizen, you wonderful beast. You wonderful beast. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck in the mesh. We are stuck in the mesh.
Trespassing or
Oh.
attempting to trespass on train.
Yep. Now we've fallen through the mesh.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal parameter statute.
That is a fine. Illegal entry to unauthorized area. It's illegal to be on the tracks. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, this game. Why are we doing this nonsense? Why am I making this game even more ridiculous than it really needs to be? For fun. Because I'm bored, really. You know, come on, Star Citizen. It's the year of gameplay and playability, people. Let's go. Quests, mission, side quests, main storyline. Where is it? Honest officer, I just fell through the door onto the tracks. I just glitched through the door, officer. I took my helmet off and put it on the ground, and then I stood on it, and it glitched me through the door. So I guess I just, you know, this session has been useful for me from the perspective of understanding that I just need to start from the beginning. I've got a good idea of the overall framework for how I want this rule set to work. Again, it's not a 0 to hero. We're not starting with nothing. It's Star Citizen hardcore mode. So I've got a reasonable understanding of how I want the game to play. Now, but we just need to do this. Just slowly work through it. And obviously the first thing, we've woken up here either in Lawville, ArcCorp, New Babbage, or Orison. You know, maybe we came to Stanton on a business, you know, mission or a holiday or something, and something's gone wrong, right? And we can't get back to wherever we came from. So now, as per the, you know, as the description in the rules say, you've woken up here and, you know, you can't get home. So now you've got to survive here until such time as you can get a shuttle back to wherever you came from. So the first thing is I've woken up in Lawville from here we go. We've woken up in Lawville. We can have like a little audio blurb that plays in the very beginning of episode 1 from Constantine Hurston. Ah, you came aboard that transport shuttle. Well, you want to leave Lawville? You need to earn it. Report to the Customs and Information Office. Okay, let's go to the Customs and Information Office. I'll make my own little Star Citizen story experience. Let's go to the Customs and Information Office. The question is, does he wake up drunk on the pool table or not? Well, maybe later. Maybe later. We've got to find some beer first. Alright, let's go do this quest. For Rayari. Let's go do a little quest. Alright, let's pick up our contract. Heart of the Woods. Amioshi Plague. Let's take some Amioshi Plague up to Calliope. 10 Amioshi Plague. What are you doing on my pool table, my Starlancer Max? How did you get here, vagrant? Security? Oh yes, there's no security until 4.3. Alright, let's go. Let's go do a little bit of Star Citizen. So the first thing is I need to put together a list of tasks. I think at the moment I'm just going to base all of my activities on Argo here in Lawville. And then once I've got that system working fine, I guess I can then transpose that to, you know, the other regions and write new tasks for the, you know, the players or the, you know, the actors, so to speak, in that region. You know, I don't know if there's a customs and information office at New Babbage, for example. But, you know, if we come back to the list of locations and we look for task givers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in this list of tasks, I need to have at least 3 different tasks for each location, for each task giver. So if there's 8 task givers and we've got 3 tasks per task giver, I need to write 24 different tasks. How are the local missions now in Lawville? Can you just do deliveries in the city without a ship? No. There's nothing to do here, Glutrino. There's nothing to do here. It would be cool, and again, this is what we're imaginating, right? All of these different tasks and activities that you could do within the game for example, over here is Lost and Found, right? So here's Lost and Found. You could come to Lost and Found. It's here in our list, right? Locations, Lost and Found. So for example, if we insert a new column here, I don't know why I need the ID, but you know, that's just a history of database design and development, that everything needs to have an ID. If we put the task giver here and we have Lost and Found, a resident has lodged a retrieval request for an item they believe was lost near the location. I'm just going to put location at this point, right? Near the location. So if I put something like this, right? Lost and Found. So this is a task that we could get from Lost and Found. Retrieve lost property. A resident has lodged a retrieval request for an item they believed was last seen near the location, because obviously we need to go to some point to start the quest. Retrieve the item and return it to the resident. Retrieve the item and return it to the resident. They are currently located at, and we'll put the location again because we need a starting point and an end point, right? And then when we bring up this message here, what's the task? It will tell us, it'll give us this in that box. A resident has lodged a retrieval request. We'll see that in this box here. And where it says last seen near the location, it will pick from the locations in this table here of task locations. It'll pick 1 and then 2, and then it will display those within that message box here. This will be a location. We can make this a bit clearer. Right, seen near location 1. Retrieve the item and return it to the resident. They are currently located at location 2. So that's an example of one task that we can do here for Lost and Found, and we're going to earn ourselves 3 reputation points, or infamy in this case. Again, that we need a little bit of massaging here. Again, from the perspective that tasks here at the major landing zones and the orbital space stations are designed to allow us to unlock new locations. We're building our infamy within these locations, and we can then use that infamy to unlock new locations. We've done enough for the people here in Lawville, for the authorities to say, okay, you've done a good job. Here's, a new location that you can go and explore. It would be cool if you get other players to help you and play the role of one of the task givers for a stream. Yeah, that would be sweet. Also, they could prep for the stream by putting the item at the location so there was actually something for him to get. Yeah, that would be sweet. Again, you know, a bunch of this is we're just imaginating, right? But that would be sweet to have like, you know, an event pre-planned with a bunch of players and stuff, and that's a cool idea. Hey, Glutrina, you like being a pyro? You were bedlogging about 5 kilometers from an outpost on Bloom. You picked up these maintenance contracts to fix pipes. You limited yourself to use a pulse. No flying the ship. It was cool. Using my Cutlass Red as a stationary mobile home. Yeah, you know, there's so much that they could do. That, you know, obviously, hopefully, eventually all of that happens. All right, let's go to our hangout. Let's get changed. I think we've sold all of our drinks. Boy, that was clever. We have no medical facilities. We have no beverages. We're just going to have to wing it and see what happens. Hopefully we can complete this before we die of thirst. Alright, there's the ship. Let's get changed. We don't freaking have any undersuits because I sold them all. That was intelligent. Oh, we couldn't sell the helmet that we found. Okay, let's get some... Okay. Crap. Let's have a look what's on the ship. I've got a feeling I've got a suit of armor on the ship. We do. Lovely. Okay, so we've got ourselves some armor. Let's get... What do we need? 10 Amioshi Plague. So the first thing I need to do is write up those tasks then. Giving our character here something to be able to do at these locations. Amioshi Plagues. Revenant Pods. Heart of the Woods. Amioshi Plague. We need 10. Giving our character something to do to start the game. %29 hydration. But yes, it would be cool, Jim, if there was, you know, if we could actually do some of this stuff. Let's get appropriately dressed for travel. Where are we going? Calliope, yeah? 28%. Yeah. And let's say, for example, as part of our adventures, we're given the, you know, this task to head to this location that perhaps we haven't unlocked yet. It hasn't been added to the, you know, our quantum drives, you know, data bank. We'd still be able to complete this mission, but you know, we wouldn't have the coordinates in our quantum drive to be able to travel back here. So we're going out to Calliope, for example, to this location. And without actually having unlocked this location, we wouldn't be able to get back here again until we actually unlocked this location. So we can still use the mobi-glass to do these missions and travel around, but that location wouldn't be permanently unlocked for us. Maybe it would be permanently unlocked. Again, it's another perk, I suppose, of doing, you know, guild contracts, is that, you know, you get to unlock new locations by doing these contracts. Let's get into nav mode. Okay, we're well outside of where we need to be. Can we make a jump? No, let's jump up here somewhere. Actually, we want to head off this way. Is there an OM we can reach? Whatever this will do. Get us a little bit further out into orbit so we can make our jump out to Calliope. So the first thing, right? All right. What? Let's have a look at our locations. Go and have a look at our task givers. Let's copy those. And paste them here into our task givers. Oops. Get rid of lost and found. And I guess if I just start with 3 quests for each location, at least that gives us a little bit of variety. I don't think I need this ID. I'll leave it in there for the moment. So we retrieve lost property. So, some tasks whilst we make our jump out to Microtech for Lost and Found. What's the time? It's 6:30. We've got about half an hour, and then I've got to get the ninja up and brush her hair because it's an absolute mess. And she doesn't like anyone brushing her hair except me. So it didn't get done last night. Because like I mentioned at the beginning, everyone is all over the place in terms of their sleep right now. Jet lag is real for everybody. That I slept for most of the day yesterday, and luckily I woke up, you know, after my alarm had gone off, turned that off and just instantly went back to sleep. Luckily I woke up in time for work, but I had like 25 minutes to get ready. So I didn't get any time to brush the ninja's hair. Alright, Lost and Found. Retrieve lost property. What do we do for Lost and Found, right? You know, I mean, we want to be able to go to these locations and get, you know, a different task, right? You know, we don't want to be just doing the same task over and over. Actually, Let's go back. Let's go back. We'll start. Oops. We'll start with one task for each location, right? That's the better way to do it. Because this then makes sense, right? So we've got lost and found. We've got a task called retrieve lost property. The habitation office. What could we do for the habitations office over at L19? Oh, for that I suppose we're going to need to bloody know floor levels. I don't know. Why am I doing all this nonsense, ladies and gentlemen? Why don't we just play the damn game? It is fun, man. I really enjoy life Uncharted. But my brain goes into overdrive. Too many ideas and no way to actually get them out in a coherent manner on the page to have it make sense. And then I get to the point where I'm like, why? Why am I making things so complicated? Let's go drop that emoji plague. I'm very much looking forward to 4.2 coming out. Mostly just for the weather, right? For the rain. Plenty of people coming out to Rayari. No Blackie outie. Thunder and lightning are the real deal. It's going to be so good. Why are there so many ships here, man? I guess now we've got to try and deal with the ability to actually store something in one of these hangars, right? Ship ammunition. You know why there's so many ships here? Because the freight elevators here aren't working and everyone's just rage quit. Which is why there's freight sitting all over the place. 23%. Maybe we'll find a drink here. Leg armor, core armor, backpack. 10 Yoshi plague. Let's go. Oh, we might need a box to make this a little easier. I think what I'll write is just one task for each location to start with. Let's see what happens if we access this. Okay, so that worked. What happens now if we try to just dump all of this stuff on the ground? We can't. Alright, so what happens if I put my backpack here? Can I send my backpack down? This is when we lose the backpack, ladies and gentlemen. This is when we lose the backpack. Alright, let's send the backpack and the Amioshi Plague back up separately. See if I can grab my backpack. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Oh yeah, someone mentioned Alien Week earlier on. I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't remember who it was. In the latest This Week in Star Citizen, they say Alien Week Thursday, 4.2 next week. Backpack. Lovely. Equip. Lovely. Alright, let's send this Amioshi Plague back down. Confirm. That was you, Potato. Okay, cool. I've no idea, man. I'm not really huge into alien ships. So I haven't really been keeping an eye on, you know, what potentially might be coming or... what's happening in the world of ships? No idea. No idea. I don't think I've ever bought an alien ship. I don't think I've ever flown an alien ship. I don't know, it's not my style, man. I think the new Prowler variant. Well, I did see something about the Prowler having some tweaks to it in one of the patch notes or somebody's video or something. Oh, there's no chests in these locations, is there? Bummer. Ramoyne is saying apparently there's a problem with YouTube comments and YouTube is working a fix on it. Weird. YouTube's been pretty active tonight. Or maybe comments on videos, hey? Okay. There are no other buildings at these outposts, are there, that we can potentially find? Oh, there's another one over here. Potentially find something to drink. A loot box. A loot box. Loot box. Nothing to drink. Nothing to drink. Damn it! Oh, we've got enough hydration to be able to get back to Lorville at least. Or was that another building? Let's go check this out. You've just seen a notification, have you, Ramoyne, from one of the channels you follow. Basically, it's not something for people to worry about, and so far I'm not having any issues. Ah, good. No loot boxes. No. Oh, wait. Loot box. Drink. It's a drink. We are saved. We are saved. Oh, stick that in our backpack. Let's go. Let's get out of here. All right, we'll head back to Lawville. And then we might need to wrap things up for this very short stream on a Tuesday early morning. And we'll be back tomorrow morning for another midweek stream here. And we'll be looking again at some of the Life Uncharted stuff. I'm gonna blast a late dinner in the microwave, Ramon. I've got to have some breakfast soon. Put me on the main screen, Ramon. Oh, big screen. You've done your trade run for the day. Now you're awaiting a new PTU build drop tonight. So 4.2 might be next week, eh? What's Potato saying? In the latest This Week in Star Citizen, they say Alien Week on Thursday, 4.2 next week. That sounds pretty exciting. Activate cruise control.
Acknowledged.
4.2 next week, Kay. Exciting. Set a course for Lawville.
Acknowledged.
Emily, how are you? You joined the stream 2 hours ago, but there was an ad, so you muted and tabbed out and you forgot about it. Just looked at my tab and apparently I've been lurking here for 2 hours. Amazing. How are you, Emily? Thank you for tuning in. I wish there was a way to turn the ads off on Twitch, but I guess they've got to make their cash buck dollary dues, don't they? You've got a lot on your plate, CT, but you're watching on both YouTube and Twitch. Twitch is actually on a hidden tab. That's the way. That's the way. You're a bit tired, Emily. Sleep soon. Me too. Me too. I'll get the ninja up, brush her hair, get her ready for school. And then I will have my dinner, I suppose. Breakfast for everybody else in the real world. And then head off to bed. So what I think what I need to do is I don't think I need this type column. I can't remember what it's for. I think we'll get rid of these ones that I've already written there. Because if the tasks are location specific, I can get rid of this objective column as well, and we'll just put everything within the text itself. Although I might need to, from a programming perspective or from a scripting perspective, make some adjustments here. If I can have at least one task for each task giver for each of these locations, just to start with, which gives our character something to do, then we can expand it out. For example, for Lost and Found, you know, that task, retrieve lost property, I can't immediately think of another task that we could do at Lost and Found. Again, you know, the frustrating thing about it is that, you know, we're just imaginating things here, right? You know, there's not actually something for us to do, which is why I think, you know, somebody had mentioned in the chat earlier on, Jim, you know, saying it'd be cool if you get other players to help you and play the role of one of the task givers for a stream. That would be sweet. Because at the moment we're just imaginating all of this. So, you know, how many tasks can we imaginate where essentially we're just going from one location to another location? That's really all we're doing. Unless we make these tasks less about doing things within Lorville and more about, you know, Lost and Found, retrieve lost property. A resident has lodged a retrieval request for an item they believe was last seen near if we say Metro Central train station. So at least we can go there. Again, we're still imaginating, but retrieve the item and return it to the resident. They are currently located at Everest Harbour, right? Maria Pure of Heart. We've received, so this is from Maria Pure of Heart. Hospital provide medical assistance. We've received an urgent request for medical assistance. At Everest Harbour. The medical clinic is short-stocked. Take 5 med pens with you. So if in this instance we're going to have to go buy some med pens from Tammany and Sons and take them up there. I guess if we make each of these tasks about, you know, getting to Everest Harbour, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing any of this, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't know. I mean, how much effort do I put into making a game within the game? You know. Alpharod, how are you, my friend? Good evening, Crouch, mate. Didn't even get a notification you were on. Gutted. Oh, yeah, I didn't tag. Normally when I put a notification up on Discord, I tag everyone, so people who have their notifications on Discord switched on will get a notification that I'm on. And I totally forgot to do that tonight. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, so I'm out of the loop. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back each night this week after work for, you know, a couple of hours to mess about with a life Uncharted and slowly make some progress on Edition 2. But, you know, I keep going through these fits, right, where, you know, I want the rule set to have nuance and, you know, not complexity, but, you know, interest. And then, you know, I have these moments of like, why am I even bothering, you know? Because so much of it is just imagination based, you know. Go to this location, do some imaginary thing, and then go to this location to complete the task. You know, how can I, within the game's mechanics and what is currently available, try to minimize imagination gameplay? And sadly, you know, we have these beautiful locations in ArcCorp and Lorville and, you know, all the major landing zones where there's just not a lot of interactivity with the locations outside of, you know, buying something and taking it to another location and dropping it on the ground. That I get all disappointed. How far do I go? You know, it needs to be interesting for me, and that, but you know, again, A Life Uncharted is a stream-only activity. It needs to be interesting for people watching or participating in chat, and you know, how much of that can we do? Oh man, I really need to fix up the curves on my sticks. They're so sensitive right now. How much of that can we do without, whilst maintaining interest? Right? You know, there's only so much. Oh, we're imagining we're doing this. We've only got one monitor, Ramoyne. So it's the big screen or the smartphone for YouTube. It sounds like you need to get another monitor, man. Let's derobe. Let's get some clothes on. Oh boy. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for chilling out with me tonight. I'm sorry for the, you know, the lack of excitement tonight. Not obviously not a normal episode of A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston. A lot of it spent talking about, you know, A Life Uncharted 2nd edition, version 2. But I want to try and find a way to get rid of the imagination part of, you know, the rule set, given that, you know, the restrictions or so on, you know, the interactivity in these, you know, major zones. But I am very excited about, you know, the guild system. Doing side quests and missions, earning those guild credits and then being able to spend those to do different sorts of contracts and stuff, and really limiting down the sandbox type of gameplay. Glue Trainer, you're going to bounce. Thank you so much. It's midnight here in Finland. I am also heading off. I appreciate you, Glue Trainer. I appreciate everyone who's been hanging out with me tonight on this early Tuesday morning. A little bit of a ramble about A Life Uncharted. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest. And I shall see everybody tomorrow. Good night, Ramoyne. Good night, Argo, the Ginger Mullet King. Appreciate you all. I shall catch everyone next time. That's it. Wait, that's the wrong button. Oh, God. I'm a pro streamer. Hang on, wait a minute. This one. Bye.